Okay. Hi guys, I am Laura and I have lipedema. Today I'm going to share one of the most powerful practices I have implemented into my daily routine, my monthly routine, my yearly routine that has supported me in committing to a series of things that support my body living with lipedema so that I can live well. And this is it. Tiny habits. Okay. I remember when I learned that I had lipedema, I wanted to do all of the things, and it was a lot. There was a lot of information about all of the different things that I should do or that I could do. No one was telling me I should do anything. So I have studied mindset and the power of thought and got really, really curious about how to implement healthy habits into my life. And so there's one book that's really, really powerful. I definitely recommend. And it is by BJ FOGG. And it's Tiny Habits, I believe is the name. The writing's in green. So BJ FOGG, Tiny Habits. And essentially, it talks about how we actually transform our lives by implementing tiny habits daily. And a lot of people sort of derail themselves because they try to do too much at once. And so this theory that BJ Fogg has is that if we implement really small steps towards what our goals are, we can transform our lives dramatically. And so I actually love the idea that baby steps are simply quantum leaps in disguise. Because everybody wants to get from A to B by, teleporting, right? And the truth is you have to decide on a means of getting there, whether it's walking, driving, riding your bike. You have to then get in that vehicle or get on that bike or put on your shoes and begin the journey. And so the idea of tiny habits is a lot of people see the destination, and when they don't get there after they put on their shoes, they quit. They don't even try to go. So what BJ Fogg is suggesting, solidify the habit of putting on your shoes and taking one step every day into your routine and celebrate each step. This is powerful. Celebrate yourself, celebrate yourself, celebrate yourself, because this will impact how you feel and inspire you to take the next step. So I always say start small. If you do not make your bed, begin to make your bed. As soon as your feet hit the ground, make your bed. And then begin to notice how you feel with a made bed. I'll tell you why making my bed makes me feel so accomplished. It is because I have accomplished something already. If I go through the rest of the day and I do not complete anything, I made my bed. And when I go to get in it, I get to get in a made bed that looks really beautiful. And that might not resonate with everyone, but it is a tiny habit that you can implement now that really, truly will transform you. And if you're someone who's like, well, I don't like to make my bed, I don't need to make my bed. Well, if you want to see big change in your life, sometimes you got to do shit you don't want to do. Or sometimes you got to do stuff that doesn't feel like it's you, but guess what? You're constantly growing and evolving. And so it's okay to do things that aren't like your old self and begin to act as your new self by just implementing these tiny little things. So I'll give you another example of a tiny habit I implemented, like 20 years ago. I was like, I haven't gotten into the habit of flossing. So, I began, before I would brush my teeth, I love to brush my teeth. I love a fresh mouth. And so I began flossing, and I would just floss quickly. I probably didn't even make sure I got between every tooth or whatever, but I would just do it every time before I brushed my teeth. And then after like a month, it just became habit. So then I didn't even have to think about it anymore. I just flossed my teeth entirely. Another thing that I did was I wanted to start reading more or implementing more learning strategies. So I started with putting a book on my end table. And the habit I was implementing was picking up my book every evening before I went to bed. And that's all I had to do in order to celebrate the new habit. And then a week after that, my goal was to read at least one page. Let me tell you, sometimes I would pick up the book and I would read a chapter, but I was celebrating once I just picked up the book. I have begun using Audible and stuff, so that may not necessarily be a habit of mine anymore, but it did get me into the habit of learning more and reading more. Okay, a really good one for working out. So when I really wanted to implement working out regularly, so at least 3 days a week, and this was, once I learned I had lipedema, I did yoga and I've had stints where I've gone to the gym regularly and I loved it, but I wanted to implement something that was sustainable. And so I decided I'm going to work out 3 times a week. How I'm going to start solidifying this habit is having my shoes downstairs by my couch, and I'm going to put on my shoes every day for a month. If I feel so compelled to work out once I have those shoes on, awesome. But I'm celebrating once the shoes are on. And so I would wake up in the morning, I would have my coffee, and then I would put my shoes on. And I would just have to do that 3 times out of the week. And so I often would do that Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then I would want to do it on other days of the week, but there wasn't any pressure, so I never failed. And so I celebrated. And so BJ FOGG speaks about having different ways to celebrate. And so one can be like dancing, one can be giving yourself a high five. Mel Robbins talks about that. You can even do it in the mirror. Another one can be, maybe you treat yourself to some new running shoes after you've done this consistently for 30 days. Like maybe you need new running shoes. Don't get the running shoes until you solidify the habit. And then it'll feel really good. But your celebration can be as simple as being like, yes, that can be your celebration. So when I was solidifying the habit of making my bed, when I was done, I'd be like, yes, did it, right? And so celebrate yourself. This definitely helps those new neurons that are firing together wire together to create this habit. And so what I'm getting at is I started with putting on running shoes, and that was the habit that I was starting. And I have now, since starting that, maybe it's probably a year ago, I have implemented so many new strategies and habits into my daily routine that my old self would have been overwhelmed and not believed it was possible, right? She would have, wrote the list of all of the things that she wanted to implement. And if she tried to do them all at once, she would have felt like she failed and she may have quit. And so breaking these things up into tiny habits and starting today, don't wait for tomorrow, start today. Make today the day you decide to change your life. And it happens one tiny habit at a time. Maybe you don't drink water. Before you go to bed, fill up a glass of water, put it by your bed. Before you get out of your bed, drink that entire glass of water. Then you've at least drunk 1 glass of water. If you put that by your bed at night and then you drink the water, potentially get back up, fill a glass, and have it ready for you in the morning, because then you will have accomplished drinking 2 glasses of water. So that you're stacking with waking up in the morning. Another means of stacking habits might be drinking a glass of water before every meal. And this can be a really, really powerful practice. So that's it for today. And I will just say, start implementing one tiny habit at least today, and decide that you're going to celebrate every day that you do that, and know that you're going to be a completely different person a year from now in the best way possible. P.S. I'm sure you're really great already, but you're going to be proud. Talk soon.